Hey everybody, this is Tara with Tara's Traveling Paints. I wanted to show you some things. Well, I wanted to make sure that the angle was right and that it could make a better video. Hopefully this will come out pretty good. Still not as close as I'd like to be to it, but I've been playing with this journal. Now this journal I got from the Dollar General, okay? So we're going to expect the paper quality is not going to be so great. A lot of the tools I'm using, as a matter of fact, I think all of the tools I'm using in this are purchased at the Dollar General. This initially was going to be a neurographic journal only. When I started it, which wasn't long ago, a few weeks maybe, um, it was really dedicated to just removing a lot of anxiety that I was having, but it grew into more than that. So I wanted to share it with you because I'm really excited about it. And so here we go. Let's see if I can do this. So what I did, because the paper is just not so great, every other one I kept a paper between. Since then, when I finished it up, I grabbed all the papers that were in between and are using those. Some of them are really bled on and whatnot, just as like a sketch pad. You'll see some in the end. So this is upside down according to where I signed it, but um, this is one of the first attempts at neurographic art. It's obviously not true that it's neurographic art. There are some features of it. However, this was not random. Um, this was definitely more controlled, but I really like it. I really like it, and I did have other beginnings that I was putting in here that are terrible, like that. Like what the heck? Some of them are just not good, and some of them are just fun because this wasn't supposed to be about good or bad. It was supposed to be about releasing anxiety, and it did. This was done with crayons and ink, okay, ballpoint and pen, and maybe a little bit of Sharpie. I can't really be sure. I'm hoping you can see this. This one I don't like at all, but that's okay. And as a matter of fact, I can go in and try to play with it. This is, of course, I signed it this way, so it's upside down to you, but at the same time, it really doesn't matter. This I used some gem Sharpies, which I love. I discovered that I love them, and I would like to have a lifetime supply of them. Reason being is when you go back over, you know how some markers kind of give a darker mark? These dry like paint. They're just beautiful. And some gel pens and crayons. This one I love, but still, even though it's a neurographic style thing, it's really not. If you study it, I'm not going to teach it to you because it's something that you have to go get educated about to teach. It still helped me with my anxiety, and this is just really pretty. This again is done with the gem Sharpies, a regular Sharpie, and some gel pens in here. And these are zebra gel pens. They're pretty good, and you can get them at the Dollar General. This is another one. This is getting closer to what Neurographica really is. Let me tilt it to you this way. The lines are much less flowy and much more, uh, what's the word? Natural, free flowing. And I did this with crayons and Sharpie, and I like it. This one, that's the way that it's supposed to be. I guess it has a direction on this one. This one's done with both the Sharpie gem colors, crayons, and a little bit of, I have some silver here from the gel pens. I like this. It's weird. It's definitely more neurographical. And I feel like, to me, it looks like a map of a continent with all the little countries in it. That's how I feel about it. I, it's the feeling I get. I hope that you like it. I'm hoping that my microphone is working. If not, I'll do a voiceover. I just wanted to share this stuff with you guys. This here, this I did when I didn't want to use the whole page. So I took my little Sasquatch coaster, put it over it, and outlined it, and then went in with neurographic lines, all gel pens after. Really super cute. I like it. I'm getting more intense with the neurographic lines with this. Really kind of, I'm enjoying myself. Several of these paintings get done, or these drawings get done in one day. Like I've had, I think, a 6-pack day where I just can't stop. I'll wake up in the morning and do one or two before I even go anywhere. And then at night, I'll just keep going and going. It's wild. But relieving a lot of anxiety, helping me focus more on my conversation with God and myself. And so this is crayons, a little bit of colored pencils, the Sharpie gels. Again, love them. And some regular colored markers that just I had hanging around. Okay, now it gets really kind of exciting. Let me move the shadow so you can see these. Try to use a much more natural light. I actually just bought a bunch of incandescent bulbs. I was getting headaches from the those nasty things, the LEDs, and so I changed it all out. So I'm using light from the window and an incandescent right next to us. This is really cool. I did this with crayons, gel pens, and a what's that? I guess a fine point Sharpie in blue. I really like that, and I'm starting to really explore shading and making it pop. And I think I love this. I could go back in and I might with some more stuff. We'll go on, but I think this looks pretty good the way it is. This one I love. I use the black gel pen in between here and here, and I did this with crayon with the Sharpie gem, and I love this. And blue ink as the go-to instead of black. I think it's beautiful. And here is another 2 coasters. So I did this one first using gel pens and the gem Sharpies and blue ink. And then I came back and did this with watercolor pencils. Okay, so I'm starting to play with watercolor a little bit. You'll see more of that. And this was another neurographic. I love this one. And this is crayons, gel pen, and blue ink. And the gem Sharpies. I love the way they dry. I think they're so pretty. I need to have like a box of them because I'd use them probably in everything when it comes to this kind of stuff. Here's another one. This is all right. It's not terrible. I like it. Definitely getting better at the neurographics as far as being more of a purist with it. And this one actually was just this part. Up until I think 2 days ago, I went in with these lines. And that makes it so much better. I still could work on this. It's not my favorite. But it whatever happened that day, I definitely felt better at the end of it. Now, I think these journals are super important, not only to help you relieve anxiety and just become more meditative and have better conversations with God, it's going to help you with your creativity, and it sure has. So that's good. This one is another one I love very much. And this one I love very much. And now I'm starting to really start playing with the watercolor and watercolor pencils with the marker. And this is a mountain scene. So now it's becoming landscape-ish. Like, um, I live in the mountains and I love them. And so I've got a lot of elements here. It's fantastical, not realistic, which is fine. And I really enjoy it. This one I just did real quick. I just had to get it done. I went back in after I did the crayons. This is all watercolor on the outside. Inside is all crayons and gel pen. Then I went back in with a black ballpoint and did some fancy smanchy stuff just to bring it to life. And I ended up actually liking this. I didn't throw anything away. So you're going to see things that I both like and don't in this. This one I'm starting to obsess about trees, and this is obvious that this is the beginning of it. I'm really starting to want trees in my life, and I hadn't even watched any neurographical tree videos yet. So I'm basically self-taught on this neurographic idea. But I get better at that, and it does help. There's a point in it where you start to get really anxious, I think. For me, I actually would develop a headache. Once I started really paying attention to rounding corners, I became much more comfortable with the style. And that's my first tree out of many you will see. Here's another awesome mountain scene done with watercolor and blue ink. You can see there's pilling because paper is crap, but it doesn't matter. It didn't stop me from working and trying and feeling really good. So this is both watercolor and watercolor pencil, blue ink, definite mountain scene. It's obvious, and there's a bunch of colorful orbs all over dancing around the mountains. Now we're starting to play with watercolor. So I went and I wet the paper. Actually, I think this is more like it. I wet the paper first, then I dropped in color with watercolor, and then I went back and I outlined with glitter gel pens, gold and silver. It's really pretty, and I really like it a lot. I would frame it, absolutely. So gold and silver gel pens and watercolor ink on a wet paper. And here we go, some more neurographica with lots of details. Lots and lots of details. This was done with watercolor. This was done with gel pens and Sharpie. And here's a little one. I love it. Came off a watercolor pad. I did this with watercolor and blue ink, and I think it's fun. I love the water. I love the mountains. I think it's just fun. I really like it. Now my trees are starting to evolve into actually looking maybe like a tree. So this one's a big, beautiful, I don't even know what kind of tree. It's got purplish fruit in it. I don't know what that means, but I really like those old gnarled bark trees that I see. A lot of them that I see here are really old maples that have been tapped a lot, and they develop very gnarly, big oak-like trunks. So this again is another rolling hills, big fancy tree with light behind it, as you can see in the yellow, and some little purplish blue fruits on it. Don't know what they are, but I put them there. And now I feel like I'm creating art. This is watercolor, gel pen. I started the tree with a green Bic, went in with watercolor, went back in with gel pens and more watercolor. And this little technique is really fun. What I did is I started using a dropper. I have a pipette and dropping little things of water. And then I'd start just putting a little bit of paint on those water droplets, letting it dry, and then coming back and circling the droplets with the gel pen. I think it's super cool. And I really love this glowy, celly outline of the tree. I think it's pretty. And this inspired my grandson to do a painting that came out really beautiful that I actually need it framed if my daughter hasn't, if it hasn't gotten destroyed in the life of life, I want to frame it. And inspired him. And he was just so excited about a tree with apples. He said those are apples. So we'll call them apples. And this is a sweet neurographic. This is done with crayons. No, it's not. It's done with colored pencil. I added some water to the colored pencil. It's not a watercolor pencil though. I like the way it softens it. And I worked on shading pretty nicely here. I think it's pretty cool. Almost looks like it's, one of those toys that you squeeze and the gel squeezes out of the netting. It's kind of what it reminds me of. You ready for the next one? This one's really cool. It's another tree. And here I've got silver gel pens in like a wind, little swirlies, and then gold ones all jammed up little bubbles. I just love that. The rest of it is done in watercolor. And I love that tree. I think it's beautiful. And inside the yellow, these little bubbles live in that yellow. What do we got next? This is nope, that's how I painted it. This is watercolor on a wet paper. Then went back in with a really fine black tip marker that I got from the Dollar General. And then I went in with some gel pens to outline stuff too. And I went in with an acrylic gold. I think it's really cool. And I think it's interesting that I'm playing with watercolors. I really do. They freak me out because they will make you a master or a failure at color theory really quickly. And I'm really excited that there's very little mud going on. And I'm even able to tilt and do some of my fluid art things with it. So it kind of makes me excited, and I like this. I think it's pretty. And here's another really awesome tree. And with more circles, watercolor pencils. And this one's a lemon tree, obviously. Is it obvious? I don't know. But I like it. And it's fun. And I love trees. This is a pretty awesome neurographic painting that I went back in and made little circles everywhere. That's the angle. I feel like, I don't know what I feel like with that, but I really love it. I love the composition. I love the shading, and it makes me happy. This one I didn't love. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? And I went at it with like 3 different types of highlighting. I used crayons. And then I went back in with the black crayon and really tried to anchor it, and then a yellow crayon on the outside. It's actually not bad, but it was definitely just an exercise in playing with the crayon. I can't wait to get fancy smancy crayons. These are Dollar General crayons, and I think it's worth buying Crayola. And here we go. I love this one. So I went in with a wet paper and watercolor. I got that all done, let it dry, and then went in with a beautiful tree with beautiful golden fruits. And this came out of the roots. It's kind of like some sort of Celtic knot. And then I went back in with gel pens to make it shiny. I love it. I would frame that and hang it for sure. Actually, I think I'm going to the ones that I think are frameable. I think I'm going to take really good pictures of and make them prints and put them on my Fine Art America page so people can buy it in a print in the size they want. This is terrible. This is Crayola marker and black ink and Sharpie. Um, it's awful. That's all I have to say. You can kind of tell when I don't like it when I don't sign it. It's funny. Here's some more awesome watercolor. I did some blocking. I also used an iridescent acrylic paint to do those teal sections. Then I went back in with black gel pen and made some black and silver fruits and put some like gold and bronze inside the tree. And then did a bunch of like music notes. I don't know what the heck, but I like them and I think it's really pretty and I would frame that too. This one, I probably could have worked that watercolor background a lot more, but I didn't. And I haven't decided whether or not I'm going back to it. I probably won't. I don't know. But I did go in with some gel pens here and make wavy wavies and kind of like make that part poppy out. And again, working with watercolors and not making mud is like joy. So that made me happy. And here is a little one, neurographic with colored pencils and fine tip black marker. Love it. I think that's awesome. And I think you see this theme again with the 3 circles. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then here's another crazy tree with some sort of circles going on. Here is another watercolor. I feel very Christmassy about this. You know, I do. And I outlined with a fine tip marker. I tilted and made drips and splatter and dots. It's actually kind of fun. But I feel super Christmassy about it. This one, I don't know what I even think about it. I'm not sure. But truth of the matter is, it was very therapeutic to do. This one did not come out how I wanted it. The marker that I used moved with water, so there's a lot of smudging and weirdness that I didn't want to have there. I should have used a Sharpie. Sharpies don't seem to move around on the even with water added. But it's not the worst, and I could still work it. But I don't think I will. I think I'm done with that one. But it's a fun tree. This nearly ended my whole time. Beautiful photograph that my friend shared on Facebook of the. Uh-oh. I can't remember the name of the river now. What the heck? Okay, it doesn't matter. Beautiful place. Just a gorgeous picture. I played with acrylics on this. Acrylics dry too fast to really make it happen. And when I thought it was fully dry, I shut it and it ended up sticking to the paper. So I ain't mad. It's actually kind of cool looking. But it's a super abstract. It doesn't look anything like the picture at all. This one was a late at night. I am bored to death, but I can't stop. And since I do a lot of circles, I decided to do ovals. And this just came out so delightful. You can see that my Sharpie gems are starting to run out of ink, but I did use them for backgrounds. I used colored pencils inside. Then I went back in with black ink and made little designs in all of the little areas. And I think that's delightful. I almost would rather see that in much brighter colors. So I might do something like that again in really bright colors. And here's another wild tree with a watercolor. I really like it. It's wild. So much wild stuff going on here. Watercolor, acrylic paint, black Sharpie, and gel pens. And I think it's dramatic. I really like it. I do. And let's see what else we got. Oh, surprised I didn't pull that out to. I will. So this I did with oil pastels from the Dollar General. It's a wild looking mountain in a mountain range with a beautiful sun. This was inspired by the Dolomites. I saw somebody that does she does mostly watercolor and stuff like that, and she had gone on vacation in the Italian Dolomites. And I was like, what? I forgot how intense they are. And I've never seen them in person. I don't know if I could handle it. Honestly, I think my heart might explode, but I really think they're wild. So I went in with some, I first did this in pencil, then I went back with crayons because I wanted to have more texture. And those cheap oil pastels at the Dollar General, they're hard to work. It's not what I remember. So, but I'm not mad. I still got a lot of really interesting effects that I was seeing and wanted to see from them. And then this one, I got some, these are not the zebra gel pens, these are just the Dollar General gel pens. So there's a lot of lines. It's not like the zebras where you can really fill an area in, but I still think it's kind of cool. And I decided I want to keep practicing with these exterior lines and how it can make it actually have depth. And I think this is the way I decided I wanted it because I see I've signed it this way. I don't know. I think it's nice. It's fun. And now we're getting into the papers that were in between. Uh, let me see if I wrote on it in the back. I did this yesterday when I got home from work. Gel pens, and more gel pens. And one regular pen in that teal color. I think it's awesome. I love it so much. And then this is where the clamp is. I decided I was going to sketch out a landscape. I was still thinking of Dolomites. I was thinking of a little city. I was thinking of rolling mountains. I was thinking of a path. I was thinking of a river. The perspective is supposed to be you're standing here and you're near a river and it's a well-traveled path and it goes up and follows that river. And this is like a rock outcropping and some green rolling hill thingies, some side grass along the sides of the path. I was feeling very medieval. Okay, so I was thinking of like a small kingdom here, and this is like the King's Road. I don't know. And then I started listening to a artist that does a lot of journaling, and she was actually doing a series on Van Gogh and doing like pictures that were inspired by Van Gogh. And as I looked at her doing Starry Night and her talking about Starry Night, I realized that in my memory I must have transcribed the basic sketch of Starry Night onto my paper. So I went for it. I also created a big dolomite over here. There's some trees over here that kind of get lost in the magic. There's a farm with barns and a city, and there's a steeple house there. Um, it's just wild. I did a full moon and these crazy stars in crayons. And it's no Van Gogh, but I feel really juicy about it. I like it. And my favorite's the river, I think. I think the river kicked ass and took names. And then I couldn't stop, so I did this after. This was the last night before I went to bed. Uh-oh, okay. Yep, I actually put the date on it. This is today. And this happened because I used, this is actually kind of cool for cheap paper. Um, Yesterday when I got home from work, I had this inspiration that I had to paint Helen Magellan a painting and that I had to do it right now. And so I did. And I made her a watercolor. She doesn't watch the channel, so I don't think she'll see it. And then I went and made a card to go with it that's the same composition. Let's put that right back here so you have something to look at. The same composition, but with acrylic on cardstock. That's a card. And I'm going to mail that to her. And that one's wild. Do you want to see it? I will show it to you. And I'm going to send her this little box with a trinket or two in it. And let me see if I can get by without knocking everything down. Show you the card. I have it on the fridge so it dries flat. Because this is almost ready to go. I'm thinking tomorrow I will mail it out. Because it should be dry enough to pack up. Sorry, guys. That's the acrylic painting. I think that's so much fun. And what this is, what we used to do, our thing as friends was we went for walks all the time on the ocean and we hunted beach glass. That's it. That's what our jam was. We brought the dogs and we hunted beach glass. And it was good. It was really, really amazing. So recently she's had a serious loss, and me not so recently had a similar loss. I just haven't dealt with it yet. And red beach glass is wild because when you find red beach glass, that means usually that someone passed away because it comes from shipwrecks. Um, so I put beach glass that's red in both of them to signify our mothers, to signify her really good friend Allison that passed away long ago, to signify her love, to signify mine, and then two more to signify us, because we're not going to last forever, right? As humans, we didn't last forever as friends, but this is a scene in Montauk called Navy Road, and I'm doing it just from memory and fantasy, because I haven't been back to Montauk since 2001, and I have no intentions of ever going there again. And I really liked it with the paint too. So I used metallic in here to, those little beach glasses are there. She'll spot them because she's got the eye for a beach glass for sure. This is a cliff in the distance, and at least when I was there, this was all woods on top of that cliff. Now it's probably houses, but it's this is one of my favorite pieces of art I've ever done. So I'm going to put it back on the fridge. So, I mean, I did this probably an hour ago. I want it to dry flat because I'm going to put that inside. So she's going to have two. And I'm excited about it because I love her. She's amazing. You want to see what I put in the box? So this little box I just had sitting over on my shelf. And it was really kind of gross and getting dirty. And I don't know why I had it. It's just this little white box. And so I painted on it. And I put, when I first moved to Maine, when I left Montauk, I used to go and get her marbles and send them to her. So I found a marble that I think would be fabulous. And I have a heart-shaped rock. She used to make fun of me for collecting rocks. And so I think that's excellent because I don't have any beach glass for her. LOL. So that'll be her little gift. And she can throw those in her pocket and keep them around with her until she gets tired of it and put them back in her little box and put them up or get rid of them or give them away or whatever. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm actually going to do a fluid painting attempting to replicate this landscape. So I like it better in acrylic. So I'm thinking I'm going to like it even better in fluid art because that's my jam. So with that being said, I'm going to let you go and say thank you so much for hanging out with me. I've been meaning to make this video for a few days now, but I didn't. There's even, oh, there's one I have in my Bible. Let's pull that out for you. It's another tree. And this one's really sweet. It's little. So I have it in there. So I encourage you, even if it's Dollar General, if you could find, I think they stopped selling these. Get yourself a art journal, even if you're just using pencils, and start creating and playing, because I think it's really beneficial to your creativity all in all, as whether you're an acrylic artist, oil painter, acrylic pour artist like I am, or there's all sorts of beautiful watercolor. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to create art out there. And I just want to encourage you to play and have fun. And I love my napkins, how they come out. Like I have a hard time getting rid of that. I think that's really cool. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. And I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I have to get up to turn you off. Haha! Yep, I got to walk all the way around. So funny. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye.